Hi friends, welcome back to Leah's Leaves. I apologize I missed our video time last week. I have been fighting a respiratory flu, and there hasn't been a whole lot of gardening because of that. I was down for the count. Also, today it's like 19 degrees outside here in Western PA, so there's not a lot of gardening going on outside either. So I decided to bring you inside and show you what's happening under my grow lights and some of my imminent garden plans, because the forecast will be warming up and the sun will be coming out again and it'll start to get nice and I got things to do. This is exciting. You take what you can get. I don't have great farm stores around, but I do have a Walmart with a garden center. So I picked up some bare root strawberries and some seed potatoes because now's the time I can get my strawberries going inside a fabric lined clothes basket with holes and let them poke out and grow up over the top. And I got some ever-bearing and some June-bearing. I have space for both, and I want to be able to preserve some of them, but then, harvest through the season. So that's the advantage to each type. And then I love red potatoes. So for the seed potatoes I'm growing, I chose red Norland. The potatoes get grown in 5-gallon buckets with drain holes poked in the bottom. This is kind of fun. So this is my little grow rack system. It's not fancy. I have a couple of colored grow lights that encourage photosynthesis and stimulate the chlorophyll. So those are specifically for this early stage of growing where we just need to be producing leaves and roots. This isn't a good light for fruiting, but I don't need a light for fruiting because that's what will happen once I get the plants in the ground. And then I have some of these shop lights with a nice high lumens and high Kelvin, and they simulate some sun and supplement the natural sunlight that comes in from the window right near. And then I have some shop lights. They're just white, again, high Kelvins, high lumens, and that's what you want. If you're going to use indoor grow lights, you want several thousand Kelvins, several thousand lumens. The higher the better, because the more Kelvins and more lumens in your light bulbs, the closer to sunlight your plants are experiencing. I'm growing my Virginia peanuts. I don't live in a climate with a long, hot growing season, but I can grow peanuts here because I learned the trick. And the trick is you can keep them in pots indoors until they flower. And then a short time after they flower, the flowers will drop the pegs into the soil immediately in the vicinity of the stalks. And then the peanuts form at the ends of the pegs from the blossoms. So I'm going to keep these plants growing now while they're just stems and leaves, and they'll be fine, and I will get them in the ground in late May, early June when my frost has gone away, and then they'll bloom, and then they'll put down their pegs, and then I have a good chance of getting a full crop of peanuts. You see my cute plant markers? My friend Brandy got me those. They're the sweetest gift. Plant Whisperer, so excited I wet my plants, and Crazy Plant Lady. This is an amaryllis and a goldfish plant. Have any of you ever seen a goldfish plant before? These are growing both from just a single cutting that a friend of mine gave me. And I'm excited because I'm starting to see the first goldfish blooms starting to come. They will flower, and the flowers will actually resemble an actual goldfish. So I'm very excited about this houseplant. These are my onions. I gave them a haircut the other day. I do that every once in a while. Seeds always want to grow to produce more seeds. So if you trim your onions and other alliums while they're growing, it reminds them to keep developing roots and bulbs instead of growing their stalks to produce flowers to produce seeds. If you just let them grow and grow and grow, eventually they'll go to seed before they've had a chance to fill out and fully bulb. So These are cool tolerant. I'm just waiting for the very extreme colds to pass, which should be soon. And then I can put these out in the ground under cover. I'll just put a floating row cover over them and let them grow in the raised beds and containers. And I will get all kinds of onions. I think I have red burgundy, torpedo onions, Australian brown, Ailsa Craig, sweet Spanish white onions, and I'm forgetting one. Oh, crystal wax, which are a smaller, they're sort of like a cross between a bulbing onion and a spring onion. They're good for pearl onions, for like pot roasts and stuff like that. They're all just mixed in here because I'm just gonna separate them out, and you can sow them nice and thickly like I did here. They're perfectly fine, and the roots tease out very easily and come loose. And then when I plant them outside, I'll plant just the root part and I'll leave the stems and the little baby bulbs above ground. These are some cilantro plants. I had grown a tray of microgreens, and these were a few that had just like stragglers in the bottom of the microgreens bin. So I went ahead and transplanted them in a pot to grow them full size. So I'm just letting these ones go, keeping them watered, giving them sunlight, and I'll have some cilantro plants in another month. Not everything is sunshine and roses in the garden. This was the container that had my single seed challenge seed in it. I was growing winter cherry asters, and I had this outside on a beautiful sunny day. I had just watered it. I set it out. I had it even kind of settled or nestled between a couple of pots. And then the wind picked up, blew it off the railing, knocked it to the ground, and everything went haywire, and I lost my plant. So much for this year's single seed challenge. This is the other, like, pseudo success and failure. These in the front are eggplants, and they all germinated terrifically. And I had one variety of jalapeno pepper that's going crazy, and one little lemon drop pepper over here. But I had terrible germination. This is the second tray of hot peppers I grew, and I know that I'm to blame. It's not the seeds. In both cases, there came a day or two where me and my ADHD self got distracted, and I didn't moisten the soil surface. They're on a heat mat because peppers like it warm to germinate, and then they were under the grow lights, but the grow lights were drying them out a little bit, and I wasn't keeping on top of it. That's my fault. I guess that's a lesson for those of us who are ADHD growers, is you let your ADHD work with you and not against you when you can. But when you have a setback like this, I look at the calendar, I look at my odds, and I say, you know what? I could probably put a few more pepper seeds in soil today and maybe get a full ripe harvest of hot peppers even now. I have about 60 days from now until I would plant them out, or the latest I would plant them out. And then I would have through end of August to try to get hot peppers. I'll get the peppers. My problem, as I've said in previous videos, is that I don't have good sunlight here. And then we just don't have consistently warm temperatures. So I have to do the best I can with what I have. But because they're my absolutely favorite kind of plant to grow, I'm going to keep trying. And that's what I encourage you to do. If you have a setback, like your single seed challenge plant blew off the railing on a sunny day and died, like mine, or if you forgot to keep the soil surface moistened while you were trying to grow your hot peppers, or whatever your setback might be, do an honest assessment of what you can and can't do. In my case, I can still grow. I still have time to start them. Maybe they won't be fully ripe at the end of the season, but I'll still get some food. And that's the primary goal of my garden. And they'll be spicy. And that's the other primary goal of growing hot peppers. So one way or another, I will figure out how to beat this problem and win. And I want you to do the same. I'm learning a lot sharing it here, and I hope you'll come grow with me. Bye.